Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Dahlman, Awaken to Hair Growth. So today we are gearing up for the free training that's happening this week. And it is starting on Wednesday, November 30th. And it's the free training to learn and discover how to reverse alopecia and hair loss in 4 steps. This is a free training that I offer periodically, and it's happening this week. So go ahead and register and join me in the private Facebook group so we can go ahead and share with you all these details on how to reverse this in 4 steps. So I look forward to seeing you all there, answering your questions, doing the lives, and so much more. Talking about today's podcast episode topic, it is the 4 mistakes you are making with your vitamins for hair growth. And the thing is, it's like when we have hair loss, the first thing we tend to do is either consult with our doctor, go see a dermatologist, or maybe we just go to the pharmacy or the drugstore and we just get a bunch of hair, skin, and nail supplements, or maybe we just grab a bunch of vitamins that we searched online for and think that we are doing and will improve our situation. And what I would say is that, how can I say this? It's not going to, because the root cause of your situation is much bigger than just a nutrient deficiency. The thing is, it's like vitamins, yes, play a part, but it's a small part. And if you haven't heard me say this before, I'm going to tell you now that healing alopecia, that reversing hair loss is like a 1,000 piece puzzle. There's many pieces to this puzzle, and vitamins and supplements is just 1 or 2 of those puzzle pieces. And there are so many other puzzle pieces that need to go in together to make and get you that full picture of hair growth, right? It's not just 1 or 2 things. And so thinking that we're going to be able to figure this out with a couple supplements or even a handful of supplements is the wrong idea. And it's the wrong approach. And many times we are taking supplements that aren't good for us or that contraindicate against other situations, like maybe your thyroid or maybe your hormones or maybe your adrenals or maybe something else that's going on for you and you don't even know it. And even if it's natural and holistic in terms of supplements, it could still have a negative side effect. I mean, how many of you have drinking, I don't know, maybe some sort of tea or some sort of, natural homeopathic remedy, and it suits one person well, it suits the other person not well, and the other person has no effect. This happens even in medications. And so you have to be very, very mindful and then also very knowledgeable on what's going on and what to do. Because again, many times there's mistakes, and these are the top 4 that I'd like to share with you. So number 1 mistake is not taking enough. And I saw this a lot living in Europe. I would go to this one store called Holland & Barrett, and they have this in the UK and they have this all over Europe. And it's kind of like a Whole Foods, so to speak, as what you would find in the US. And it's your natural food store. You'd go in and find your supplements. And when I was looking at the certain supplements that I take, I would look at the back and the international units or the RDA or the amount or the highest amount that you could get in that country was an absolute joke. It was an absolute farce. It's like you're spending money for supplements, not cheap, mind you, that had a minimal, like very minimal amount of what you need, of what your body needs as an adult, never mind the child, but as an adult of what you need, that you wouldn't even feel a difference. So you would be taking these and nothing would be happening because it's not at the level you need. So for example, let's say, let me use a gas tank, like in your car as an example. So you need a full tank of gas to get you from point A to point B. And this supplement is only giving you a quarter tank. You're not going to get to point B anytime soon. You're going to have to refill again and again and again in order to get to your destination, right? And the thing is like many times when we're just taking, random supplements or random vitamins, you don't know exactly if that level is adequate for you. Because sometimes, and this is what they don't tell you, sometimes the recommendations are based on your weight or based on your height or based on something else. It's not based on your age. Age has nothing to do with it. And so it's confusing situation. There's lots of misinformation, but this is the number one mistake, is not taking enough of the amounts that you need as an adult or per your weight or according to what's truly recommended for you, because there are many vitamins where you need more than just the RDA, the recommended daily amount. The recommended daily amount many times is not sufficient. And many times when you have hair loss, it's because you are under what is needed to boost your levels of hair growth. And when you have a cold, right, you tend to drink more tea. Maybe you overdose on chicken noodle soup, and maybe you rest more than normal, right? In the same manner, you need certain vitamins as an extra dosage or an extra boost because you're already feeling underneath the weather. And how do you know this? Because you're having hair loss, right? And so that's the mistake number one, buying vitamins that don't give you enough oomph for your money, right? There's no return on investment. And people don't know. They're like, oh, I'm already taking this vitamin. And they're thinking they're doing right. But then they're like, oh, it's giving me essentially a drop of water for every glass that I'm taking. And so this is where you can always, quote unquote, think that you're doing right, but you're actually like hindering yourself and not getting anywhere real fast because it's not enough of what you need. So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is overdosing on vitamins and taking too much of certain vitamins, even if the supplement label offers it, doesn't mean you should be taking it. And this example goes straight to biotin because that's everyone's first choice when dealing with hair loss or alopecia. Surprisingly, it's not my first choice. And I can tell you and guarantee you that I've not recommended it in the many years that I've been working with my hundreds and thousands of clients for alopecia and for hair loss. I don't recommend biotin. Yeah, I just don't. Why? Well, because there are so many other things that your body needs more than biotin for hair growth. And the thing is, biotin, I don't know why, but it's become like this, ever-present, magic pill, and it's not. And the thing is, if you really want long-lasting hair growth, it's not going to be in one pill. It's a big strategy. It's one strategy that will get you all the ingredients, the pieces that you need in order to get the hair growth. So going back to biotin, it's not my first choice. And you are likely missing out on the essentials for your health and for your hair growth, but also the essentials to healing hair loss. So taking too much biotin can give you the following reactions, including skin rashes, digestive upset, problems with insulin release, and kidney problems. High amounts of biotin can create false positives in laboratory tests for thyroid disease. This is a concern because then potentially you are misdiagnosed. Another vitamin of concern is vitamin A. Taking too much vitamin A can also give you the following reactions. It can cause dizziness, nausea, headaches, coma, and even death. High intakes of preformed vitamin A in pregnant women can also cause birth defects in their babies. And, on the flip side, taking too much vitamin C can cause a miscarriage. It can cause diarrhea. You see my point? Where many times you think you're doing something well and you're like, oh, it's just vitamin C. Oh, it's just vitamin A. It's just this. I'm just going to pee it out. And that's not the truth. And so too much of a good thing can be bad for you. And so you have to understand how much to take and when to take it. And then also what this looks like in conjunction with everything else that you have going on, right? And this is why the Hair and Heal program offers a personalized evaluation. That's the key, because you really have to take into consideration the full health of somebody, right? It's not just throwing a bunch of vitamins at them and saying, hey, you're going to heal like this, because that's not it. You have to really discern and dissect them as a person, past, present, and future, in order to get to that future of up-leveled, upgraded, high-performance hair. So mistake number 3, selecting vitamins that still contain certain ingredients that are harming you. And many times these vitamins have fillers and extra preservatives and extra junk in them that are not necessary. And when you consult with me or join my program, you can have access to all my recommended vitamins and things I personally use and recommend. In my program, I also go through your current vitamins to make sure they are accurate and complete. Many times they are not, and many times they're not sufficient. So the thing is, it's like there are many types of different supplements, right? There's cheap and toxic to, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, high-grade supplements. And many of these things you're not going to find at your drugstore, and you're not going to find online. And you have to really search for them, and you have to understand, the high grade level and what this looks like for you. And just because they are of, let's say, high potency or of great caliber, that doesn't mean that they're always going to be expensive. A lot of times, the cheapest ones are more than likely not for you or not good for you, but also there has to be a reasonable amount to supplements so that they actually take an effect on you, because there's no point in buying supplements that don't have and garner an effect on you, don't cause effect, right? And also the limits. Some of these limits are just a joke. When I see certain supplements and their milligrams or their micrograms are so low, and they're not going to do anything for you, right? It's just, you have to understand apples to apples what's going on and how to really boost your health by truly boosting it, not by spending money and throwing it away. It's very important to understand the whole scope of vitamins and supplements and to see what's actually good for you. And another mistake that I see is people taking in gummy vitamins. Gummy vitamins are not for you. And, even my toddler doesn't have gummy vitamins. And, many of you might be saying, oh, but my child won't eat or won't take vitamins in any other way. But there's so many other options. There's powders, there's liquids, there's something else outside of gummies. And I have a family member who, is an adult and takes gummies, and they shouldn't be. You are harming your health if you're taking gummies because of the amount of sugars and processed sugars that are in there. So if there's one thing to take away from this episode, is to stay away from the gummy vitamins, all of them. Gummy vitamins are not good for you, and I don't recommend them at all. And in terms of the other 3 mistakes that I mentioned, it's not taking enough, overdosing on certain amounts, and not knowing the ramifications. And then mistake number 3 is also the selecting vitamins that have fillers or have extras or junk preservatives in them that aren't good and healthy for you. And so in my program, I decipher all these. I make it really easy for you so that all you have to do is just plug and play. And a lot of times we are making mistakes. And again, a big takeaway from this episode is that biotin isn't needed. I never took biotin to get my hair growth. I never took biotin to get and reverse my alopecia. So you don't need it as well. So I hope this has helped you. And I look forward to seeing you in the free training that starts this week. Link in the show notes. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this, and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.